we are almost at the end of the series.
I mean, we getting there.
We got a few more to go, but this has been a fun journey. Like, I've been really excited about just the podcast overall. Well, today we're going to be talking about the difference between pre-engagement, premarital counseling, the ins and outs, benefits of going individually, and then giving you some resources so that you can jumpstart your therapy journey.
And to all my fellas out there who's already like, man, why she send me this? Bro, just trust me. Just bear with me.
Overall, this whole podcast, like, we have been talking, and yes, we know that there is a level of wisdom that has come via God, but I want everybody to know that we did not start knowing all of the stuff and the tools that we have now and the things that we're telling y'all. Like, this was not something we were born with. So we had to figure it out. And honestly, like, I truly can say, between therapy and between the Word of God, like, and figuring out our problems, that has been how we have been able to gain this wealth of knowledge that we have right now. We don't know everything, but the stuff we do know, we know.
Yeah, we're not pulling it out of our rear ends. Like, it's literally things that we have gone to our therapists who are licensed professionals. We spoke about going to, you don't take your MacBook to just anybody to get it worked on. You're gonna take it to an authorized user or an authorized technician to work on that device. So the same thing with our marriage. We're not gonna just get marriage advice from just anybody. We're not gonna just get direction from just anybody. It's, you don't know what people carry behind the advice that they dish out.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything we're saying is always coming from, either something we pulled from therapy, something we pulled from a marriage conference,
yes,
interviews, anything like that we can put some research behind and some thought behind and, really discuss as a couple.
I was just thinking about this.
What you was thinking about, baby?
I was thinking about something. So the first year that we were really together, and even when we were engaged, we come through some heavy stuff, some stuff that not even married people go through. And I remember thinking in that moment, like, God, like, dang, you having us go through a lot of stuff early. Like, why are we going through all of this early? And it was some real stuff. And I am so glad that God took us through that rough patch early, because it allowed us to build a strong foundation early. And I know in the Bible, one of my favorite scriptures is, choose you today who you're gonna serve. Like, are you gonna let this thing overcome you? Are you gonna dig into the face? Like, what are you gonna do? And deciding to keep on going steady with our relationship early and figuring out the healthy way to deal with stuff, like, that's honestly why I feel like we have so much to give now.
Hey, like she said, there was a long time that God had been telling her, hey, make this podcast.
Yeah.
And she was going, oh no, it's saturated. Like, all of these negative thoughts getting in the way of it. But truly, it's things that people need to hear. People need to understand how to operate or how to build with their partner. So I'm also thankful for those hardships early in our relationship that allowed us to get stronger and stronger. Like, I remember just looking at her like, damn, bro, like,
dealing with stuff and those real grown man, grown woman things early, like, we were almost forced to talk through things on a different level. And I also want to make clear as well, like, I know a lot of people are in relationships where, they're going through hardships and stuff like that, right? God had already given me confirmation that Dondre was the person that I was supposed to be with prior to walking through some of those hard things that were real, right? We weren't married, but he gave me confirmation early. So for anybody that is like, dang, this is hard, I don't know if this is worth it, is this the relationship I'm supposed to be in? Pray about it and seriously ask God for confirmation. Like, go on a fast. I have had friends that ask for confirmation 3, 4, 5, 6 times just because it is such a real, like thing. You locked in for life with somebody.
Yeah, work through it. And I would say, that's for both sides of the relationship. It's never a one-sided situation. Anytime that you can communicate your traumas, your issues, like that's, if you come from a place where that's something that you don't completely understand how to do, we talked about like checking yourself and checking your responses and, making sure that you're not responding out of that place of trauma or taking it out on your partner. So if you need to go to therapy to mediate how to approach that initial issue, just like whatever blank problem is, like that's what you insert and that's what you attack.
The importance of going to therapy by yourself, right? You can go to therapy as a couple, you can go to therapy, and comb through your couple problems, but at the end of the day, like I said in my previous episode, my therapist said when somebody makes you mad or when you start to feel an emotion that's being evoked, it always has to do with you and it's not the other person. So if you need to deal with you first, personally first in therapy, go ahead and make sure that you do that. That way you can say, okay, well, this is a trauma that I have. How do I bring this up? Or how can I facilitate this conversation? Or instead of saying, you did this and you did that and that, it can give you a better way to approach it so that your partner knows, oh, he or she isn't just trying to get on my case, like they're trying to open up to me.
Yeah, they're trying to reveal something about yourself.
Yeah.
That, like you said, you're not always willing to face.
Yeah, absolutely. So, good deal. Well, I think the next thing we did is, or the next thing we should talk about is the difference between pre-engagement and premarital counseling. Because there's two. We went to both of them, right? So you find this person, oh my God, I think I love him. I think I want to spend the rest of my life with him. Well, before you can do that, you got to get engaged. How do you think therapy before we got engaged and pre-engagement counseling helped you to know, okay, this is the right woman for me that I should choose? Not just for where I am, but for where I'm going.
Well, therapy before pre-engagement counseling helped me see things about myself that I needed to work on. It also helped me address a lot of things that, I may not have been willing to go all the way back in my childhood to address. It's like stuff that I'm like, you know what, I'm old enough now, I should move past it. In reality, I needed to face it.
Right.
And so once I did that, I was able to have this childlike love that I had for you at 13. So when it came time for us to approach pre-engagement counseling, it felt like I was meeting her parents in a form because of the type of relationship they had, along with, I had to separate that on a professional basis to the relationship that I had with them as well, and the relationship that they had. So once it came time to attend pre-engagement counseling, like I was a little nervous going in because I'm like, it's me. Like, hey, it's me. Remember I was on here with my ex.
It's me. Remember, it's me.
And I was trying to find out if she was the one. So yeah, this the one. And she been the one, but the other one's like, I'm sorry. So again, that's how deep it goes with sticking with that. Again, shop therapists, because not everyone you're going to be willing to stick with like that, and they know and remember your story enough to put the pieces together.
You said it. Like, pre-engagement counseling just gives you questions to ask each other to go deeper that most people won't touch until they get a ring. And a lot of people don't do that. Like, a lot of people don't face the big things until they already have a covenant, but they give you questions that, dang, you know what? I did not ask you that. What are your views on this? What are your values on this? And I think that's why it is so good, because it breaks you down fundamentally as a person so that you can see, this is who I am, this is who he is. Do we want to step forward and get engaged? Even when it comes to Maybe you and your partner are different religions, and it's fine while you're dating and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this guy. He has a great personality.
I don't know what he do on Sunday, but I know I be in church.
Right. And then you break down fundamentally what you believe from these different religions, and now we have a deeper conversation like, what values are we going to teach our children? Like, those are conversations that you don't wait to have when you already have a date and a promise. Pre-engagement counseling for me specifically helped confirm that you were the one, because it also confirmed. I thought you'd never ask. They confirmed that my mind was healthy enough to make a decision that would affect me for the rest of my life. So for me, my sessions beforehand, like, and my therapists, they are real. They're gonna tell you it's black, it's white, it is, or it ain't. But like, am I mentally healthy to make this decision? And once it was a yes, and we started going to pre-engagement counseling and things started lining up, and I was like, wow, I am making decisions from a healthy perspective. You know what? This is something that we are equally yoked on. Like, it took the veil off my eyes. So for me, that's what it did.
I know you guys are probably like, okay, so does that mean she knows like my intentions, like that I want to get engaged? That's when you say, you know, Kayla, I really do love you, and I have intentions to take our relationship past just, you know, us being boyfriend and girlfriend. Like,
right.
I want to marry you. So, you know, I think that you've spoken to me about pre-engagement counseling. That's a service that our therapist has. I think that we should go ahead and get signed up for that. And we chose to make a whole thing out of it. And we went to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and stayed in the cabins in the woods. And then we had our pre-engagement counseling just on the cabin's patio or whatever, with the fireplace going.
And you should make it a thing if you want to make it fun. It doesn't have to be stuffy. It just allows you to go deeper. So if you want to say, you know, this is our pre-engagement counseling weekend
retreat,
we're going to make it right. We're going to make it fun. We're going to go deeper. It takes the pressure off. It really does. Pre-marital counseling, I feel like, allows you to go even deeper. It helps you ask questions like, okay, is marriage this? And get clarity on that.
What are some things you needed clarity on?
And this is a general statement at first, but I think a lot of people need clarity on marriage because we go into it knowing, okay, I just get to have sex with somebody consistently for the rest of my life. But I think that is the extent truly to which people, I feel like, really know about marriage. They don't talk about the breaking. They don't talk about the hard times. They don't talk about the
not getting the promotions or giving up your job. Now we're talking deep expectations. What are their plans for the future? How do they view money? How do they want to save?
Right.
How do they pay bills? Do they live paycheck to paycheck? Like, once you guys become one, like, your problems are their problems, you know, your successes are their successes. You still have personal and individual success, but, you know, behind you having the time to pursue those things is a strong foundation that you've built with your partner. So
that's the truth, and it is real because people who live with you every day get to see you in your ugly phase, and that is something that not everybody can handle, but your spouse who is ordained to be with you has been given the grace to handle those things. And I like how you said expectations, because a lot of times when we don't have critical conversations, we have expectations that we put on other people that they know absolutely nothing about. It is an unspoken expectation that we expect them to meet. And when they don't meet it, okay, like, let's say we both get married, right? I expect you to know that when we talk about such and such, it brings up my past traumas because unbeknownst to you, I got sexually abused growing up. Well, they bring that person up all of a sudden. You're like, hang on, time out, why you getting hostile with me? But it was an unspoken expectation that he wouldn't bring it up because, you know, that's a heavy spot for you, but you never told him about that experience. So that's why making sure you go to premarital counseling, unlocking those expectations and being realistic and talking about that is so important.
I'm glad. Do you feel like that we were able to adequately do that well, at least plant the seed to start doing that and build as we went.
I think it did. I know it helped. It helped us, like you said, have grace for one another because I see where you need grace and vice versa. Like you see where I need grace because, oh, that's not this Kayla that I'm seeing. This is 8-year-old Kayla that I'm getting, or this is 17-year-old Dondre or 7-year-old Dondre that I'm getting.
Yeah.
That's just a little bit of transparency. Just an example of how therapy can benefit you guys, and there's all kinds of resources. I know if you need to find a therapist, call your insurance. If you want to use insurance, it may be completely covered. Just ask them, hey, can you give me a few therapists in my area that are covered under my insurance? They'll do that. Psychology Today, BetterHelp, there's all kinds of research, or even a quick Google on therapists near you. You can see a full list of who's in your area.
And who's licensed.
Correct. Heavy on the license, but
Licensed, authorized technicians.
that's it. And the last thing, you mentioned it earlier. Please shop around for therapists, right? We will go to 3 different stores to find the shirt that fits us. We'll go to 8 different stores to find the perfect pair of shoes, right? We'll even shop around churches. But when it comes to therapists, a lot of people think, oh, well, this one didn't work, I'm done, right?
This one was too mean. This one was too nice and was too lenient. Like, but you said the last one was too mean and too, like, strict on you. Like, you know.
Right, you have to find your fit. And finding your fit does not mean that this person tells you what you want to hear. That's not what you pay them for. You pay them for them to be able to see blind spots that you don't see and bring them to your attention so that you can learn how to better help yourself.
Definitely.
So shop around for it, be intentional, and just be healthy.
And relax. Like, don't put so much pressure on yourself. And if, you know, these videos, if this podcast has been helping you, don't feel like you have to kick everything into overdrive and start, you know, changing. Well, don't expect results overnight.
Correct.
You can always kick it into overdrive and start making those changes, but don't expect those immediate results.
Yeah.
Just keep following that path, keep seeking the kingdom, man or female. Man or woman, like, keep seeking the kingdom. And as long as you are going towards that and you're following those steps along the way, you're able to actually think in your right mind because you're slowing down. All right, y'all, we'll catch y'all later. Like, comment, and subscribe. I don't have a poll question for you, but she'll come up with one.
Let's put our heads together since our therapy session never stopped. You wild for doing that with me. You know that, right?